I never thought a single sentence could quietly shift the ground beneath our marriage. About 5 weeks ago, my wife looked at me, her eyes distant and tired, and said softly, "You're not my priority." The words didn't come with anger or malice, just a calm finality that left a chill in the room. I didn't argue or try to change her mind. I just nodded and let her be. I knew that no amount of pleading could make her feel something she didn't. The following days felt strangely still. I carried on with my routine, went to work, came home, cooked, cleaned, did everything as usual. I didn't raise my voice, didn't ask for explanations, didn't chase her attention. Instead, I observed. I noticed the way she skipped breakfast with me, how her eyes no longer met mine when we sat together, how the laughter we once shared had turned into quiet, heavy air. When someone tells you that you're no longer their priority, it isn't an invitation to fight. It's a moment to reflect. I stopped thinking about how to win her back and started focusing on myself. I revisited the things I'd set aside, old hobbies, friends I'd lost touch with, and the simple joy of spending time in peace. I didn't retreat from life. I simply recentered around my own balance and dignity. In that calmness, I found something powerful, a quiet strength that didn't depend on her validation. I carried on each day with quiet consistency. And over time, I noticed the air between us start to change. She began hesitating before speaking, choosing her words more carefully, watching me as if she were trying to understand something new. I didn't react. I just stayed steady. Silence, I learned, can speak louder than any defense. One evening, I saw her sitting by the window, lost in thought. There was a softness in her expression I hadn't seen in weeks. I didn't break the moment. I made 2 cups of coffee, sat across from her, and waited. She glanced at me, emotion flickering across her face before disappearing behind her usual composure. She said nothing, but the quiet between us felt different, heavier, filled with everything left unsaid. Over the next few days, her behavior began to shift in small but noticeable ways. She started asking me about my day, not out of habit, but with genuine curiosity. She began listening when I spoke, paying attention to things she had ignored before. There was no confrontation, no apology, just a silent acknowledgement of something she had overlooked. Then one night, she looked at me and whispered, "I feel invisible." Her voice trembled. I didn't rush to comfort her. I didn't fill the silence with words. I just listened and nodded. The truth was sitting right there between us, undeniable and heavy. She was beginning to understand what it meant to feel unseen, the very thing she had made me feel weeks earlier. From that moment, the dynamic quietly shifted. She became gentler, more attentive, as if realizing what she had been missing. There were no grand gestures, just small, sincere attempts to reconnect. 5 weeks had passed since she first said those words, "You're not my priority." And now, her eyes told a different story. The distance was gone, replaced by something softer, almost regretful. She had learned what silence could teach, not through confrontation, but through the absence of being chased. When she finally cried and said, "I feel invisible," it wasn't an accusation. It was a reflection. I didn't need to say much. My calm, my steadiness, had already spoken for me. Sometimes the most powerful answer isn't defense, a speech, or a plea. It's the quiet strength of staying grounded, of letting time, silence, and self-respect reveal what words never could.